Good afternoon. I am joined by my very good friend and business colleague, Michelle Bomberger. Michelle Bomberger is the CEO and managing attorney of Equinox Business Law Group. And Michelle is a friend. She's also, like I said, a colleague, and we're pleased to be a client and a beneficiary of her expert guidance. And Michelle is going to be joining us on our HR Hotspot episode coming up on December 10th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And Michelle, this is not your first time at HR Hotspot. We're really excited to have you back and speaking on a topic that to me feels more relevant than ever. We're calling the topic How to Think Like an Attorney. Tell us more, break down like at a high level. And obviously we're not going to give away everything here. Please join us. We'll put a link here in the with this video about how you can sign up to attend. But give us a high level view, Michelle, of what it means to think like an attorney.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me again. Such a great program and great audience. So there are two sort of key things that come to mind as far as how attorneys tackle risk and tackle problems. One is what I call legal infrastructure. So what are the tools in place that guide us as we think about these problems? There might be statutes, for instance. There's a lot of wage and hour laws. There's a lot of OSHA regulations. There's lots of things in the law, especially in the HR space, that we need to pay attention to that are really grounding in what we are allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. On top of that, you would have things like contracts, the agreements that you have in place, policies that you have in place, insurance that you have in place. All of those tools are a part of the infrastructure that gives you the rights, responsibilities, flexibility you have in how you apply these things to your world. And those will help guide how we make decisions. So they're really important tools. And then the second piece is the framework. So how do we think about applying those into a particular scenario? In law school, we use the case methodology, the Socratic method, where you kind of go down a path of, okay, based on these facts, what are the issues? What are the issues? What are the issues that you dig in? So we do that in an everyday scenario in the same way and take, okay, what are the issues? What are the facts? And then how do we apply the tools available to us to understand where our exposure is?
Well, then we find ourselves in situations, this happens all the time, but I think especially over the last 18, 24 months, where we've been faced with this whole myriad of overlapping laws, local regulations, federal regulations. Is a mandate a law? What are my obligations when laws contradict one another? And so that's why this topic feels more relevant for me than ever. I'm excited to have you lay out for us that infrastructure as well as that framework of how do you think through decisions, because decisions are coming at us so fast. And I feel like what I'm at least seeing with my clients and in our own business is that we've gotten really good at making decisions fast. That doesn't mean we're always making good decisions. And so, how do you make decisions fast, but do it in a way that you don't have to then unwind a decision or make a mistake? We'll just call it that. So tell me from your experience, Michelle, both as a trained attorney as well as a business executive and business owner yourself, what do you think are some of the more common mistakes that you see people make when it comes to this thought process?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes is being fully informed. So you just mentioned that, especially over the last couple of years, things are changing really, really quickly.
Constantly.
We were just joking about, even in Washington, what is the actual lay down the law right now? Because it seems like people are just sort of, doing their best to put all the pieces together. So being informed seems easy because everything is kind of right there at our fingertips on the internet, but parsing through it and determining what supersedes what are the dates, what are the requirements, what are the what ifs, if you're in this industry or that industry. And so trying to determine what it requires, what it takes to be informed, I think is one of the biggest challenges. So ensuring that you have, a consistent, valuable tool set, whether that's someone in HR, whether that's an attorney, whether that's trusted newsletter from the state, whatever those things are, making sure you have those tools. And then I think the second thing is the consistency of application. I mentioned legal infrastructure. So if you have policies, you have handbooks, you have contracts, you have insurance, as your business changes, making sure that you are updating them and reviewing them on a consistent basis. Right now we're seeing a lot of folks hiring out of state for the first time, just to find talent, or because they have that flexibility that they didn't realize they had previously. Well, hiring out of state is not simply, adding the payroll. There's typically a lot more to it than that. So making sure that you're regularly reviewing and updating. So the informed piece then leads us to the consistency of the changing laws in all the places where you're doing business. So those are two areas that really need to be like a focus as people grow and build and change.
Absolutely. Well, you are one of those experts for us, and I want to thank you again for being part of our cadre of resources that we go to help us make good decisions. And I'm excited to have you back on HR Hotspot coming up December 10th. As always, this event is pre-approved for recertification credits, both through SHRM and HRCI. And we will, again, include this link. Sign up today. Sign up today if you can't attend with us live on December 10th. We'll be sure you get a link to the recording. It's a session that you definitely will want to catch heading into the new year, a year that's going to be probably as interesting and exciting as this one has been, filled with a lot more decisions, and we need all our tools and resources to navigate that well. So thank you again for saying yes to being on our program, Michelle. I look forward to seeing you live back on December 10th.
Thanks, Jennifer.